Hello everyone, back to this channel again. Have you watched my video here? In that video, I talked about the absurdity of VTubers. If you haven't watched it yet, I suggest you do because it's really funny. And in that video, I also mentioned that I want to make a part 2 about the absurdity of the VTuber world. So in this video, we're going to talk about more absurd things in the world of VTubers. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Let's start with this one first, about VTubers meeting fans. Actually, VTuber fan meetups like this are quite common. Even though it's called meeting fans, it doesn't mean the VTuber is physically present in the same location. They're just sitting at home chatting with a monitor displaying their VTuber character. So it's not really a meeting fan situation, it's more like a phone call. The person is somewhere, and you're somewhere else. Not meeting face-to-face, haha. But there is a case where this VTuber directly greets their fans. This VTuber is named Naito Mare, and she focuses on ASMR content. Now, Naito Mare posted on her Twitter that she would hold a real-life handshake event with her fans. Actually, these handshake events are quite common in Japan. Almost all idols or artists in Japan have some kind of event like this, because it's profitable, you know? Just imagine, charging 50,000 yen for a single handshake. If 20 people do it, that's a lot of money. That's why so many Japanese celebrities do these kinds of things. Not only in Japan, even outside of Japan, if there's a Japanese element, they'll do these kinds of events too. The main point of these events is not just shaking hands with your favorite idol. It's also a chance to make eye contact and exchange a few words, haha. Well, even though it's just under a minute of talking with your idol, you have to go home because it's someone else's turn, haha. But don't be sad. It's definitely an extraordinary experience. I'm sure there are many happy moments, even if it's just 20 seconds, haha. Like I was saying earlier, these kinds of events are usually done by idols in Japan. So, since the emergence of VTubers in Japan, they are also considered idols there, just like regular celebrities. Maybe seeing that, VTuber Naito took the opportunity to show that VTubers can also hold handshake events like regular idols. Naito Mare announced that she would appear at a handshake event. Actually, just that announcement is already funny. But there's something even funnier than that. It's the comments from people regarding this VTuber event. Some are comparing it to a boss fight in a game, haha. Some are comparing it to a meeting that happened in Japan recently, haha. I don't know if you really believe this, but it's obviously fake, haha. If that's really the VTuber's hand, then there's someone else behind that curtain playing on the computer, haha. I don't believe it, honestly. It's all a joke, haha. If that's really the VTuber's hand, then it means there's someone else behind it, which is impossible, haha. If we go with another option, where maybe the computer isn't in front of her, but to the side so her hand can reach out, that's still a big trick, haha. Just think about it. The VTuber's face appears on the monitor, so she has to stream to make the VTuber character show up. And the camera for a VTuber needs to scan to detect the person's face. So, if the computer is to the side, how does it scan her face, haha? That means the only solution is she has to stretch her hand out while constantly looking to the side, so her face gets scanned by the computer. And that's impossible, haha. The most logical option is that she's using someone else's hand, and she's streaming from a different location. That's the most logical option, haha. What do you think about this VTuber? Is that really her hand? If it is, how did she do it? Please explain in the comments. Let's move on to the next discussion, the second strange VTuber. Earlier, we talked about an ASMR VTuber who held live handshake events. Well, this one is similar. This VTuber sells her ASMR debut. Believe it or not, haha. Money talks, right? Haha, I'll do anything for the cash, haha. The VTuber selling her ASMR debut goes by the name Koharu Momose. Koharu herself is an adult VTuber, and there are quite a few wild ASMR VTubers out there. She sells her ASMR on DL Site, and it's about the debut of her purity, if you catch my drift. She even uses certain tools for this ASMR, haha. The ASMR has a duration of 8 hours, and in the description, she mentions that she'll be using all sorts of things, haha. The initial price of this ASMR was just 8,000 yen, but for a week, it became the second best-selling ASMR on DL Site. Considering the high demand, it's no surprise she raised the price. Talk about making a profit, ha. In just a week, it became the second best-selling item. Crazy, right? The price went from 8,000 yen to 11,000 yen because it was so popular, ha. It has even been sold over 700 times at this point. Just imagine 700 times 10,000 yen With a 10% discount, that's over 7 million yen from selling this ASMR alone. Ha 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 ha. And when I last checked, it had been sold over 1,000 times. Seriously, this VTuber is making a fortune just by selling this SMR. Ha ha ha. There are a lot of comments about this ASMR VTuber too. Many doubt the authenticity of her purity and even question her age, thinking she's older. Ha ha ha. Personally, I also believe this VTuber is not being honest. It's a big lie if you ask me. Ha ha ha. Especially since it's just audio ASMR, not images or videos. Who can guarantee that it's really true that the VTuber is still pure? Well, no one can. It's just their one-sided claim. It's a pretty big fake, and I genuinely believe it's a complete hoax. Ha 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 ha. This is just a gimmick, like any other ASMR involving, those kinds of actions. My argument here is if you look at the description of this ASMR, she says she'll be using all sorts of things, right? Now think with your brains, guys. No one goes straight to using that kind of thing. Ha 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 ha. There are steps involved, right? To get to that point. Ha ha. So, it's like this girl is saying she's pure, but she's using a baseball bat right away. Ha 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 ha. So it's a big lie if she says she's still pure. And my second argument is, well, it's Japan, and you know what the culture is like there, right? You can even test drive with your friends without having to date. That means it's a big lie if she claims to be pure. Okay, maybe she's an introvert and doesn't have guy friends to test with, but it's still absurd in my opinion. It's still very obvious that it's a lie. I already mentioned it's Japan, right? Even if she's not fooling around with guys, it doesn't mean she's not using those kinds of tools. Almost all Japanese adult girls have those kinds of tools, so it's a big lie if she says this ASMR is her first experience with those things. It's definitely a lie. She even says in the description that it's her first time using those tools, and this ASMR is the moment she loses her purity. Honestly, it's just a gimmick to get people to buy it. So, what do you think about this ASMR? Is it really authentic, or is it just a gimmick to make more sales? Write in the comments below, guys. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to click the subscribe button below. And if you have any other topics you'd like to discuss, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching, and sayonara, everyone.